Yo, 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 what up, bro? How y'all doing out there? How y'all doing? It's me, Ice Turtle Girl, back at you again on the YouTubes. You know, I'm here with a fat, fresh, lit, Gucci review of the new 21 Pilots album, Trench. I'm gonna give you some of my faves, I'm gonna give you some of my least faves, and I'm just gonna give you my overall vibe for the album. You down? I'm down. Let's go.
I like to dedicate this to all of the Creator's righteous children. I have some food in my bag for you. Not that edible food, that food you eat. No, I have some food for thought. Since knowledge is infinite, it has infinitely fell on me.
Just kidding. But in all seriousness, I am going to be doing a album review of the new 21 Pilots album, Trench. And I'm going to be in this, yo. But really, I'm going to be giving you the good that I liked of the album and the songs that I wasn't vibing with exactly yet, but it's going to take me time to really get into them. And later on, I probably will like them because there hasn't really been a 21 Pilots song that I don't like. I just like some more than others. And we're going to get into that. And I'm going to give you a really quick, like super quick album review. And then if you want to really dive deep and get my real thoughts on this album, I suggest checking out my blog, iceturtlegirl.blog, where you can get my full in-depth opinions on Trench. But this is going to be a quick and dirty little album review of Trench. And again, I am not an album reviewer, so I do not review albums, but sometimes I like to just talk about an album when it comes out. That's that. And sometimes I give it a grade. But I'm not a YouTube reviewer, so don't come for me. But really, okay, so we have to get into this album, Trench. And 21 Pilots, one of my favorite bands of the 21st century, one of my favorite bands of the 2010s. Definitely a keeper for 21 Pilots back in 2013 when I first watched their music video for Holding On To You, and I watched it on MTVU. I don't know if you guys know what that is. And I first watched it on there, and I was really intrigued by whoever this drummer and this rapping singer guy was. I was like super intrigued by it, and then I got super into them and was like super excited about them as a band. And then in 2013, I went to see Fall Out Boy, Panic at the Disco, and 21 Pilots live at, if you live in Virginia, in Fairfax, and go to George Mason, you would have known this place as the Patriot Center, but it's not called it anymore, but now it's called Eagle Bank Arena or something like that, but it's Patriot Center forever. Anyways, I went to see them live that year on the Save Rock and Roll tour. Now, disclaimer, I was coming from work in DC and I kind of overdid my time, like I was like late. And so I ended up missing 21 Pilots because at that time they were like sort of a newer band. Not newer in the fact that they were like new, but they were like newer in like the mainstream world. And so because of that, they did not, they were not headlining or they were not, big on the list. And so they were the very first group to go on, and I missed them and I was super depressed about it, and I still am. But I did snag this dope OG 21 Pilots shirt from back then, and I'm really glad that I did. So I've been a fan ever since. I love Vessel, I love Blurryface, and I just love 21 Pilots, and I love the fact that Tyler and Josh are just such dope people, and that they really are bringing a beautiful message in their music with trying to get people to understand mental health and mental illness better. And I really love that, and I love all the lyrics and all the meanings behind them, and it's just a beautiful community of a band. Like, I love it. I will say I have slight issues with the clique or the clique or whatever you call it, but it's just a section of the clique. Like, if you're a clique member and you consider yourself a clique member, kudos to you. I still consider myself one as well, just not to the extent that I was at one time. Like when Blurryface came out, I was a huge clique member, whatever you say, and I was really into them, but then I just had to stop really being like a huge clique member because it just got too crazy. And I don't want to call anybody out, but there's like this demographic of kids between like 12 and like 17 that are like, I don't know, they're just very like destructive, and like they weren't letting new fans in, and like they weren't being nice to people, and they were like making up fake stories and trying to like get sympathy for the fact that they had mental illness, even though some of them didn't. And then there were ones that did, but they were still being manipulative, and there was like a lot of stuff going on, just being really catty and really like they were going too hard for the boys, and it was like too much. And then there was like this point in time where like they were, you know, which I don't like in any fandom. Like, this actually irritates me in all fandoms, because all fandoms end up doing them, and it's really annoying. They would do like where they would ship Josh and Tyler together, and then they would make inappropriate fan fiction. I hate that shit. But anyways, I'm digressing. But I do like the clique, so they're cool. It's just that section is like really weird and annoying. But yeah, let's get into this album because I'm super excited. It is highly anticipated. I've been waiting, and I'm excited to dive in. So let's go into Trench. To start off this review, I'm gonna give you my absolute favorite songs on this album. Favorites are Levitate, Morph, My Blood, Chlorine, Smithereens, Nico and the Niners, definitely, and Legend, I love that song, and Leave the City. Now, when I first listened to this album earlier today, I was listening to it mostly just for the bops, right? I was listening to it for the beat, I was listening to it for the music, and kind of what Tyler was saying, but not so much the lyrics. And then the second time I listened to it, I got more into the lyrics and more into what Tyler was talking about. And you know Tyler's a deep person. If you haven't seen his latest interview that he did with Beats One, you need to go watch that one because it's really insightful. And all of his interviews really are. There's some interviews from like way back in the day, like before they were even signed, that are like super like amazing and like telling of who Tyler really is and like what's going on in his head. And I will say about this album is that it feels like it's a way happier album than any other album that 21 Pilots have ever put out. And I don't mean that lyric-wise. I mean, yes, I do mean it lyric-wise because some of the lyrics are really happy. But, I mean, just the album in general just has a happier vibe. Like, yes, it's still very emo. Yes, it has those songs that are about, you know, mental health, mental illness, and the things going on in your mind and in your spirit, but at the same time, it's very much a happier album. And I think that has to do with how Tyler is now. You know what I mean? I feel like after he got married and now that he owns his own home and he's just really happy. You know what I mean? I feel like he's still going through his mental illness because I feel like once you're going through this type of stuff, you're always going to be going through it. Like, it just is what it is. But he's actually happier than he has been in the past, and you can tell on this album. Songs like Smithereens is such a cute song about how he'll totally write a song about his girl. Like, he doesn't care. Shout out to Jenna. We love you. We love you. Okay, we love you. But he's like, I'm gonna write this song about this girl because I love her, and if a guy tries to step to me or step to her, I'm gonna come for him because really she's my girl and I love her, and I'm gonna show that to the world. And I think that's the cutest thing ever. Like, I think that's so great, and I'm so happy for Tyler too because, you know, with the last few albums, like with Blurryface, of course, he had songs on there about Jenna, of course, and that's really cute. But the last, you know, Vessel, he didn't really have any because he wasn't married or dating anybody at that time. And Self-Titled didn't have any either. But it's just like, you know, he's come a long way since back in the day, and I'm really just happy for him. Like, I really, really am. Like, I'm just so happy for him. And, you know, I really hope that Josh is able to find somebody. You know, I've seen like clips here and there of and stuff on like social media of him and Debbie Ryan again, so maybe that'll happen, but who knows. But I hope that Josh can find his Jenna, because I feel like it makes Tyler so happy, and it's so amazing. Like, it's so amazing. You know, like Legend, which is one of my favorite songs on this whole album, is so cute, and I just love all the lyrics of that song, and just the whole vibe of it is really cute. Levitate is a great bop. Morph is a great bop. And I just love the whole happiness vibe of this album, and how it's become more of a happy album and a happy vibe in an emo state than a dark and gloomy, depressing emo state. And I love it. And I love it. Because I feel like bands back in the day, like in the heyday of emo, like in 2005 and 2006, like, people were making gloomy songs, but sometimes they were making happy gloomy songs, and I like a happy gloomy song. I mean, hello, Paramore does that well, but I'm just like, give me a happy gloomy song. Sometimes I just want to, you know, have depressing lyrics over some happiness, you know what I mean? And some happiness over some happiness too. I love it. I really do love it. I really love My Blood is another really great bop, and I know that was one of the singles, and it's a really good song. It has a really fire beat. I love that. Nico and the Niners, one of the very first singles to ever come out, with Jumpsuit, and you know, I know a lot of people were like really on the hype train when it came to Jumpsuit, and I'm not saying I don't like this song. It has to grow on me. I'm not saying it's my favorite song at the moment, but it definitely has to grow on me. But out of those two singles, I definitely loved Nico and the Niner a lot more, and I really find it to be a great song, great lyrics, great everything, instrumentation. I love the backwards part of it at the end. I just love the song. You can hear Josh's drumming so well, and I just love it. I think it's great. Yeah, there's so many. Bandito is great, and I know they call their tour the Bandito Tour, and we're all Banditos, so that's really cute. And Pet Cheetah is cute. It's like really cute. Like, I have a pet cheetah in my basement, and I called him James. Like, that's so cute. Oh my god. Like, this whole album is like super cute. Like, I don't know. Like, it's emo, but it's cute emo. I don't even know how to explain it. It's so cute. It's so cute. So now let's get into the songs that I have to grow on. I have to grow on these songs. They're cute and they're awesome and they're amazing, but I have to grow on them. They're not my favorite at the moment. Jumpsuit is definitely not my favorite at this time. I don't know what it is, but it's just like not vibing with me at the moment. Like, I can't really put my finger on it, like why I'm not like, oh, this is like such a bop, because it's really just not to me right now. And that's fine. Like, with Blurry Face, I had to listen to the album about 20 million times, and then all these songs that I wasn't really vibing to at first became my favorite songs on the album. And so, you know, I just have to let it grow on me. Definitely The Hype, Cut My Lip, and Neon Gravestone. Even though I do like Neon Gravestone, because I do like the lyrics in that one, because it's about how when these celebrities pass away, we're very much, because we have a one-track mind, and we're very much about clickbait, and we're very much about having such a short attention span. It's about how we just basically will mourn this person for 5 minutes and then move on to the next. And Tyler's basically saying, like, don't mourn me, you know, like, mourn somebody that warrants being mourned, you know what I mean? Like, if he died at a young age, mourn somebody who's older than him, like a grandmother or grandfather or an elder, you know what I mean? And as much as I understand those lyrics, I understand what he means, and I totally agree to a degree, I also think we should be mourning these people even when they die young, because it's important. they didn't get to live out their lives, but they were still on this earth for the time that they were, and they were still important to the people they were important to. And so if he passed away tomorrow, I would mourn the hell out of him, you know? I really would. And so I get where he's coming from, though. I do. We are very clickbaity, and our attention span is very one track, and you can't just keep it together, right? Like just like this. I'm probably in 10,000 different directions right now because my mind is in a million different places, right? And so I get what he means with that, and how yesterday something could happen tragic, like some celebrity that's really big could pass away, and tomorrow we could stop thinking about them and think about something else. And that's just the sadness of that. And so I understand what he means by that. So I get that. And Cut My Lip is cute. Leave the City is actually a song that I can relate to a lot, because in that song he talks about how he's not really gonna, like, he wants to leave his city, but he's not gonna leave the city right now, and basically that, you know, eventually he's gonna leave because he's tired of living in the city he's living in. You know, it's not really benefiting him anymore, and it's time for him to just move on to new, greener pastures. But until he ends up doing that, he's gonna live there and stay alive, which I love the fact that every time that they have an album, the ending track always ends on Stay Alive, because that's the most important in the whole 21 Pilots discography, all of their lyrics. Everything they stand for is stay alive. And I love that message so much. It's like one of my favorite things about 21 Pilots is that they're just so adamant that we all stay alive, because he knows that there are things out there motivating us to not, and we need to stay alive because there are so many other things we could be doing, so many great things. The world needs us, and we need to stay alive. And I just love that sentiment, and I love that he brings it on every single album. It's really cute. Chlorine is a cute bop. There's 14 tracks on here. Yeah. If I keep leaning over there, it's because I'm looking at the track listing on my computer. But yeah, this album really is like a fun emo album. And the lyrics are half emo, half just like fun and happy. And I love that. I am so happy that they're happy. Like, you don't even understand how happy I am that they're happy. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to get to that level of happy myself. So I'm happy you're happy, Tyler and Josh, because you deserve it. You deserve the world. And I'm just so happy for you. So, yeah, this was really quick. And I probably didn't explain my real feelings on the album, but like I said, if you want to hear my full in-depth feelings about the songs, my favorite lyrics, and everything in between, please go and catch it on my blog, iceturtlegirl.blog. I will be writing that up after I finish this video, and so you should go check that out. And yeah, I'm really glad 21 Pilots are back. Super excited for this era. And yeah, forever and ever, 21 Pilots. Stay alive for me. So usually how I do this is I give it a letter grade and not a physical number grade. And so I think as of right now, after the 2 listens that I've had of this album, I'm definitely going to give it a A. Definitely. I liked a lot of songs on this album, and I probably will continue to like this album even more over time. But as of right now, I think I liked a lot of songs, but disliked a lot of songs as well. And I might have disliked more songs on this album than I did on Blurry Face or Vessel. But that's right now, in this moment. I'm definitely going to be listening to this album way more and getting way more into it. And so if you ask me like next week, I might have a totally different answer. Or 2 weeks from now. So don't take this as face value. understand this is right now. This is my feelings. I'm giving it an A, which is a very strong grade, so don't think anything of it. But yeah,